Hey there. You know when you want to talk about something that's just the absolute best? Or maybe the biggest or the most amazing thing you've ever seen? Well, today, we are going to master the words for that. They're called superlatives, and they put things right at the top. Let's jump in.
So, think about it for a second. What's the most beautiful place you've ever been? See, that little phrase you just thought of, the most beautiful, that is a superlative. You're already using them, probably without even realizing it. So now let's break down these super simple rules so you can use them perfectly every single time. So, what exactly is a superlative? Well, to put it simply, it's a word that crowns something as number one. It means it has more of some quality than anything or anyone else. We're talking about the coldest day of the year, the tallest building in the city. It's the undisputed champion. Okay, now here's a really important point. We gotta be careful not to mix up comparatives and superlatives. So comparatives are what you use when you're comparing just two things. Like, this coffee is warmer than that one. But superlatives, that's when you're comparing three or more things and picking the winner. This is the warmest coffee in the whole shop. So just remember, two things, comparative. A whole group, superlative. So are you ready to start building these words yourself? I promise it's way easier than it sounds. There are really just three simple rules you need to know. Let's break them down one by one. Okay, rule number one. This one's for the short words, the ones that are usually just one syllable. All you do is add a s to the end. So cold becomes the coldest. Easy, right? And hey, look at a word like big. Notice how we double that last G to make the biggest? That's a little trick for words that end with a consonant, vowel, consonant. Simple enough. But what about the longer words? I mean, saying expensivest just sounds weird, doesn't it? That's where rule number two saves the day. For those longer words, usually two or more syllables, you just pop the most right in front of them. So expensive turns into the most expensive, and dangerous becomes the most dangerous. Sounds so much better. And finally, we have rule number three. These are for the rebels, the special words that just don't play by the rules. For these guys, you kind of just have to memorize them. For example, good doesn't become goodest. No way. It becomes the best. And bad becomes the worst. These are the most common ones you'll use, so they're definitely worth remembering.
So you've got the rules down. Awesome. Now, let's make sure you sound like a total pro. We're going to look at a couple of super common mistakes to avoid. Think of these as your secret tips for perfect grammar. Okay, I'm sure you've heard this one before. Someone says something like, wow, this is the most biggest house. It kind of feels like it adds extra emphasis, but it's actually one of the classic mistakes people make. The golden rule here is so simple. Just pick one. You can't use both. Since big is a short word, all it needs is that est. So this is the biggest house. That's it. Never, ever use most and est together. And here's another one you might hear. This food is gooder than that. I get it. It seems logical, right? We learned to add to compare things. But wait, remember rule 3? Good is one of our special words.
Yep. Instead of making something up, you have to use its special forms. If you're comparing two things, you'd say, this food is better. And if it's the champion of all food, you say, this is the best food. See? This is why memorizing those few special words is such a game changer. Okay, I've done enough talking. You know the best way to really learn something is to actually do it. So let's try a few practice questions together. You ready to give it a shot? So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to give you a sentence with a blank space, and you try to fill it in with the correct superlative. Ready? Let's go. All right, first one up. Jupiter is the blank planet in our solar system, and your word is big. Think about it for a sec. What do you think the answer is? Yes, the biggest. That's it. We're following rule 1 for short words, and we remember to double that final G. Excellent work. Okay, ready for number 2? Here we go. This restaurant serves the blank food in town. The word is good. Now remember, this is one of those special ones. You got it? And you got it. Good becomes the best. This restaurant serves the best food in town. You are doing great. Okay, last one for practice. Let's do this. What is the blank river in the world? Your adjective is long. What do you think?
Nailed it. It's the longest. Long is a nice, short word, so we just add EST. What is the longest river in the world? Fantastic job!
And that's really it. Believe it or not, you now know the essential rules for superlatives in English. You've got the three main rules down, and you know which common mistakes to avoid. Seriously, that is a huge step forward. Great job.
So, to wrap things up, I have one last question for you, using a superlative, of course. Thinking about everything we just covered, what was the most interesting thing you learned today? Let that sink in. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and happy practicing.